Hello, YouTube friend who happened to find this video on their home feed, most likely. Today we're talking about something I never would have thought I would actually have to make a topic about. It's been on my mind recently because I started watching Invincibles, and it made me realize that watching good pieces of entertainment can actually be really good for you. And how we watch stuff really affects us. Because like growing up, everyone always says, watching TV is pretty bad. Maybe your parents would be like, back in the days, they'd be like, go read a book, or you're rotting your brain with that stuff. And to be honest, I used to also think that watching shows and all that stuff would be too great for you, Maybe we could be doing better things with our time. Recently, I've kind of rediscovered that that's not the case. This isn't to say that I completely shut out shows, but I just didn't watch them as much. I don't think watching shows or movies are actually the problem. I think it's how we watch and what we watch that makes all the difference, especially now in today's time, because you might put off a show or you might put off a movie that you really want to watch that excites you and makes you feel better after watching it, and in your break time or when you're trying to have some downtime, you're going to be scrolling through social media, you're going to be scrolling through YouTube shorts, and there's a big difference in how you feel after scrolling on social media for 2 hours versus how you watch a film that you've chosen intentionally. And not just a film, but a really good show that invigorates your curiosity, that motivates you, that makes you feel better, that kind of has a different perspective altogether. Shows that basically make you grow, right? I think that makes all the difference. Now again, it doesn't have to be shows or movies, it can also be books, whichever excites you the most. So I'm going to be here to tell you that watching stuff can actually be good for you instead of just another mindless habit. You probably know it well enough if you're on this video, to be honest, but you can just scroll for hours, not even realize it, and then you don't even remember what you watched, but also you feel pretty empty inside after watching the random content that's on your feed, right? Random cat videos or dog videos or whatever it is that you watch. It's you don't really remember it too well, right? And you feel drained. You feel pretty foggy, you're more tired than you were before, and it's not a great feeling. I think we've kind of forgotten how well entertainment can be, especially because now we live in a more kind of hyper-productive society where, because we see someone on social media make it, or we see some kind of success story, we think that we have to kind of crack down and double down on working harder rather than smarter. In actual reality, we're kind of still kind of corrupting our mind and then feeling bad for what we're doing and feeling bad to relax and to kind of grow our mind, right? Kind of gain different perspectives on life that can ultimately help us if we just chill out and enjoy a piece of media or two. To be honest, it's pretty intentional because, again, the algorithm on all of these platforms, including the one that you're watching, is pretty intentional because they want to kind of keep your attention on there. They want to keep you scrolling for like another maybe 20 minutes or so, or the next video kind of auto plays. It's kind of engineered to keep you watching. So it's like, it's kind of hard to kind of get out of because it's not their fault. They're making money. It's their job. To be honest, maybe even I'm at blame or a part of this with my fast following now. But at some point we kind of got to ask ourselves, is this really how I want to spend my free time? The thing is with scrolling is that it kind of changes the way that our brains work over time. We always want something super fast nowadays. We want results immediately. We want entertainment done immediately. There's no build up. There's no gradual process of a good story. Even now, even if I'm on the topic of shows now, I'll give an example with anime. Anime used to be really slow paced and it used to have a really good build up. Now it's like you have to have that in one single episode because our brains are kind of our attention spans are just shorter and shorter, right? And think about it. If you're on TikTok, for example, or whatever app you watch stuff on, you're going to be jumping from sad videos to funny videos to scary videos to deep videos in like 5 minutes. And then your emotions are completely all over the place. It's emotional whiplash in my opinion. I'm just going to kind of come out of it really numb. I'm not no social media hater. It has its part to play in the whole grand scheme of things. But the kind of point I'm trying to make in the video is that maybe we could replace that with better entertainment. Like I said, shows that excite you, shows that make you learn, shows that like invigorates excitement in you. Because you remember a good movie, hardly remember a good short form content. Like even now, I have noticed within yourself, like when you're watching something or you're watching a movie, or scrolling at the same time whilst you're watching the movie. Like, do you know how crazy that is? You might even have tried reading a book and you can't read more than a few pages because you're like, man, I need something more stimulating. You're kind of antsy. And then not even only that. Nowadays, conversations with friends, you might even start scrolling to kind of pass the time together. That is kind of dystopian. Again, there's a time and place for everything, but I don't think it's really helping us. Then now there's like a whole epidemic with dopamine, for example, where dopamine, like in a simple sense, is just basically feeling that your brain kind of gives you for pleasure or reward, and it feels good. And pretty much, the content that we're watching nowadays, it's like a slot machine for dopamine. It's just a new hit over and over. Kind of like a drug, but not really a drug, But it's pretty addictive. And especially with your like a For You page now, everything's curated to keep you even more hooked onto this. And obviously, I don't think our brains have entirely adapted to this kind of thing right now. Because even if you look at like most of human history, there has been no access to content this quickly. Even a good movie, like we've had movies for a pretty long time, I guess maybe like 100 years now so far. I don't know. I'm not a boomer, so I don't know these things, but it's going to be longer than how long we've had social media for. Even if it's just like basic storytelling, books have been around since God knows how long. Like different forms of entertainment were a lot more slower, a lot more chiller, and a lot more, I guess, thoughtful. Now, before you even eat breakfast, you probably watched about over 100 pieces of video. Give your brain some time to relax, give your brain to kind of track down what exactly you're doing through the day when it comes to relaxing. You know what? What if we approached watching stuff like reading a book? That's going to sound kind of anti-fun at start, right? But what if we did something with a little bit of purpose and a little bit of attention rather than just killing time? Because let me tell you something, I tried it. It feels great. When you have the purpose of watching something for actually wanting to watch it and actually be interested in it, senses for understanding like media skyrockets. You understand the way the writer done what they did. You understand the way even the film or whatever piece of media you're watching is done. You appreciate the time and effort it takes to actually be able to write something and actually produce it, rather than the most, high impact scenes from the show. Like everything about the show, it makes it so interesting. The same way in a book, you've got different chapters, like the introduction, the main bits, the conclusion, everything about it, the build up. Great, man. Try it. Next show you watch or next movie you watch, try and understand it from that perspective for a little bit. And you actually might realize it becomes that much more powerful. You know what? Setting some time to do this, to get comfy and maybe making some tea, putting your phone on don't disturb and just focusing on that one movie, it's great. Obviously, it may not be the entirely best solution to cure brain rot, but I think it's a very viable solution. Because when you watch something with your full attention, you're not going to notice things you would have missed otherwise. You feel better afterwards. I can't stop emphasizing how much better you feel. Remember, you can do a whole synopsis if you really wanted to. I guess it's kind of like a little ritual you can kind of create around watching stuff. Like, pick a certain day of the week that you know that your brain is like, you know what, it's movie time. It's rejuvenation time. It's time to have intentional just decisions rather than wondering where time went because you were kind of unconscious about where it went and what you did and the media that you're consuming on your phone. You can actually have like a set day where you actually remember, you know what, Friday's my day. And you can actually remember every single Friday that happens because of that. I know a lot of us can't do that. A lot of us won't be able to remember what we even ate last week. Unless it was like a fancy dinner or something, maybe then. But I don't really know. I think that is going to be really, really important in terms of like looking forward to. It can be any kind of setup when you watch this kind of stuff. Like maybe in the morning you could watch, I don't know, like a documentary or whatever floats your boat, or maybe like a nice little comfort show. You're feeling down, rather than opening up one of these quick apps and just quickly scrolling. Or I don't know, if you got friends, go and watch a good film with your friends. Nobody does that anymore. The point is pretty much to be intentional about it, to kind of make it special and to really give the attention that it deserves. Because these pieces of media, they deserve attention. They're so well crafted. And sometimes I actually wonder, like, how do the writers even figure this out? How did they even write it? It's amazing. With that, you actually get a really big sense of gratitude for the piece of media that you're watching. That makes you appreciate it even more. The thing is, it's more like a quality over quantity kind of thing as well. And that's pretty interesting because, like, when you watch it in that way, you watch way less overall. Like, it becomes more about quality because you're just watching one amazing film rather than 20 mediocre things with half your brain checked out and you're scrolling or you're eating at the same time, or it's not special, It's like fast food. It doesn't really satisfy you if you have a bunch of it compared to a meal that hits home, something that you can really savor and remember. Might be sounding kind of extreme for the saying all of this, but I actually think even a grain of salt, from that perspective, it can really, really make a difference. You haven't been like getting that hit like you used to. What makes it even better is, like I was saying earlier, like watching something together with someone else is like shared experience. Not many people have that nowadays. I mean, I'm guessing cinemas tickets and sales have gone down a lot because like streaming from home and all of that stuff, but people watch stuff by themselves now. And I mean, if you prefer that, hey, do it. But imagine watching it with other people where you kind of laugh together, think about it together. Just a meaningful experience through that shared piece of media. And again, I'm going to bring it back to the restaurant example. If you had to eat at a place by yourself compared to like one of your best friends, chances are you're probably going to have a better experience with your friend. And it's really important. I think it can be something that can be really, really good to start to do. So I'm going to be pro cinema here and actually say, you know what, go to a cinema, people. Make it a plan or something like that. Even like a weekly thing or a monthly thing, whatever it may be, just have fun with it. The thing is, it's great because even the topics you can discuss after, because everyone has different perspectives of what they watched, they notice different things, you can kind of challenge each other's thinking, and it can be pretty engaging as a result of that. And being in your own algorithm bubble of random pieces of content that's just going on up there adds like a whole nother dimension of watching stuff then. Maybe it's just me who thinks like this, but I think it's really important to set some kind of loose boundaries. Like I said, I'm not someone who says I'm not going to ever watch short pieces of content. Of course I am. Of course you're going to do it. It's just the world that we live in now. But it's just more about creating some kind of balance around it than not dealing with it at all. Like, setting a few loose boundaries around this is like, maybe let's watch a different piece of content. Maybe a little bit of educational stuff here and there. Some pure entertainment. Maybe some thought-provoking things. Sometimes a comfort watch. And it's, again, going to keep bringing it to food. Variety's pretty good. Just how you had a balanced diet. Balanced content diet should also kind of be a thing. Just being able to watch intentionally. You can actually have a really good understanding of who you are as a person just by looking at your YouTube feed. You can tell a lot from yourself, but just by looking at that. So if you've got to pause the video, make sure you like before doing that though. Hint, and maybe subscribe if you want. But it can help if you go to the home screen and just see what's going on there. And then see if this is something you actually should start to kind of take notice of. Maybe even your focus might improve over time. I'm not no scientist, so I'm not going to tell you whether it does or not. But it feels pretty good. So maybe try it. Just pick one night where you're going to be, off your phone. And you're going to watch something pretty meaningful. Make it pretty cool in terms of how you want to watch it. If you want to eat some ice cream with it or something like that, do it. But just notice how different it feels. It was great. Saying that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. And stay blessed and have a great rest of your day. Hopefully watching a better piece of entertainment.